Thank you, Jackie, for being here with me. So, my first question for you is where did you find food freedom and what made you say like I want to reach out to their team, I want to learn more?
Um, so I found you guys on social media through my sister. She actually had me follow you guys because I don't know, I didn't realize at the time that she's like involved in intuitive eating. So I just like watched from afar and really started to struggle with obsessing about food right in the beginning of the pandemic, and I finally um reached out a couple months later, and I'm so glad I did.
And I'm glad you did as well.
Yeah.
So, the big question is how has your relationship with food changed from day one of working with us to today? What's different about your relationship with food?
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so different. It's so different. Um, my relationship with food before was like really rigid and structured and confusing. I like remember I just didn't even want to eat anymore because it was so overwhelming. The like all the rules I had about food. And weight and all that crap, and it was just it was overwhelming. Like, I just can't think of a better word. It was so overwhelming, confusing, and very hopeless, to be honest. So today my relationship with food is normal. I mean, I don't even know what normal is. It's like it's not heavy, it's light, it's free. I like truly don't obsess about my next meal because I've given myself permission to eat with my hunger cues, and giving myself full permission to eat, and like I just like like I was sharing that I like wanted to eat broccoli the other day. Like and I enjoyed it, and like I had a Pop Tart for breakfast, and like it was freaking delicious too. And like it's totally fine. And I'm like okay with it. And it's not a big deal. And like food is not a big deal. It's fun. It's exciting. And also like it's not the most important thing in my life, which it was in the beginning. So
Yeah. It sounds
yeah.
like you found freedom, like we say. So
Right.
this is a very yes. So this is a very broad question. You can take this however you want. But what has been a big aha moment for you during this experience? What has been a big takeaway, or maybe something that surprised you throughout your journey?
Um, I'm like an aha moment. Well, I'd have to say, like last week or last time we met, there was that moment where I realized how much diet culture has affected the way I treated myself um through my whole life, and that the me thinking diet culture was only surrounded around like body image and like the food stuff, but it was really like um realizing how mean I was to myself through all that time, and how um when I was struggling with my weight at where it was the highest, and I was like in my own struggle and that kind of with my addiction and everything. And um oh no, I think I froze again.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay, thanks. I'm sorry. Um, like, and how I would do like side by sides when I was in diet culture and lost all this weight, and like would like ridicule and like point out that that person was so like ugly and so broken and so unimportant and not deserving of love, and that like me realizing with your help that like that was still me, but that was just someone who was like struggling with diet culture, and that like even though and like 200 pounds later or whatever how much I lost, like was still a person struggling with diet culture. It didn't matter what size body I was in. So like that was the biggest aha moment I had, was like um I'm still Jackie through and through, and it's like what level of like sickness I've been in with diet culture. And that, oh, another big thing is that like I didn't fail these diets, like diet culture failed me. And I never looked at it like that. I've been to a billion nutritionists in my since I was 8 years old, and I was always told that don't know how to follow directions and I don't know what's right. I can't do what's right for me because I'm a rebellious child or teenager or adult. And it's like that was like the most freeing thing ever because like it's not it just wasn't. I'm not like rebellious. I'm just confused. Well, not anymore.
Not
So that was
anymore.
like that was huge for me.
Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
that. And the last question here is, if a friend came to you and said, Jackie, should I work with Find Food Freedom? What would you say to them and why?
Oh, I would say yes, 100% because like I'm a person that struggles with an eating disorder and I've struggled with weight my whole life and like this has saved my life and like I just that's my experience, but like I think people who just like I think there's a spectrum, like you don't have to struggle with eating disorder to do this. I mean, it can be any kind of struggle with food, any like whether you're like, in a bigger body, a smaller body, it doesn't matter. Like I think everybody can do this because it the purpose is freedom. And it starts with freedom from food, but it's really freedom of like um self and like self-acceptance and freedom to make decisions in your life that best serve you and like not being controlled by what other people believe or feel or like and honestly like I think the diet culture and like industry is they're like criminals and like I seriously like I think everyone needs to know the truth and I feel like I've uncovered like the real truth of this like of America and how like messed up the like how calories are bullshit and how they're made up and the BMI is bullshit and like how messed up it is and how their full intention is to continually make people get stuck in the yo-yo diet cycle so that they can keep shoving money into their diet plans that don't work, you know? I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question. I just wanted to
It definitely did. And I think just to wrap it with a bow, I mean, it's been
yeah.
so amazing working with you and watching you find food freedom and really just like you said, like not fall victim to diet culture bullshit anymore
Mhm.
and not let it rule your life. So thank you
Right.
for sharing your story with everyone because it's going to really help the people that need to hear it.
You're welcome.